whatsoever. They took an oath to uphold the Constitution, and in the Constitution was the Second Amendment. I was, a couple weeks back, I was going to work, and I also sit on my local school board, I'm the school director in my local jurisdiction also. And my school board president, which I recognize behind me, I was heading to work, and blew the horn. I stopped to get out of my full dress uniform, and I carry an M16 at work. Select fire machine gun, that's what I carry on duty. And so I got the weapon out and I showed it to him. And wouldn't you know it, somebody called the police. So the police are pulling in and I'm like, hey, how you doing, you know? I know this officer my whole life. I grew up with him, went to school with him. And he says to me, you know why I'm here? And I said, no, I really don't know why you're here. I just thought maybe you'd pull in to say hi. So I got a call that there's two men standing here with a machine gun. Assault, he called them assault weapon. And I said, well, did they tell you there's police on the back of my shirt and the badge on my chest in 6-inch letters that says police on my back? Well, I guess they must have left that part out. You know? But just goes to show you that not even the police departments and the police officers really understand that Pennsylvania is an open carry state. That police officer knows now. After I got off the phone with his mayor. So we do need to revamp the Act 120 program, the training courses, the updates, to be more cordial to people and treat them like human beings and not treat everybody as a criminal. When I go through the police academy, when I go through updates, they treat everyone that you come in contact with as a criminal. Everyone that has a firearm is out to kill you. That's what they teach us in the academy. That's what we're taught, and I have a hard time swallowing that. I have a real hard time swallowing that. That's why we have all these young police officers that graduate from these academies, and they come out and they want to kick butt and take names and ruin lives over nonsense, over they terrorize people over a turn signal, or not using your turn signal, or having a brake light out. And they want to search your car right away. They want to demonize the American people. They want to demonize the average citizen, the law-abiding citizen, that everybody's a criminal. It's not the case. For every bad guy I come across, I probably come across 200 or 300 good people. And when I tell you when I come across a bad guy, they're bad guys. They're not, I can care less about a traffic light, I can care less about a turn signal. That's just nonsense. That's nitpicking nonsense to me. And I have better things to do with my time than worry about somebody who has a broken taillight. Seriously, I really do. And that's what we need. We need to educate our police officers a lot better. Because what's coming out of these academies is really, it's shameful. It's really shameful. But other than that, I'd like to present these two men shirts. All keep your shirts. With that being said, I'll turn it back over to Larry.
You know, Garth, I had the opportunity to meet you 4 years ago, right down the road here at Indian Park, and you were speaking to the crowd there on Constitution Day. This was September 2009, and really appreciate, you know, you standing up for the Constitution. Also, I went into National Sporting Goods on Friday and was handing some of these out to Adam and the other sales people that were in there and customers. And I also made the announcement of this meeting and was telling the patrons and the people working there that their representative, Garth Everett, was a co-sponsor of this bill. And when I said that, that created a real applause in that store. So people recognize what you're doing, Garth. And Darryl, what can I say to a representative that has he hands out his contact information of all his offices. with the bullseye target. I mean, you know, no offense, Gordon, but I mean, I think you got to get on board with something like this here. But you have to, okay? But how great is it to have a rep that gives these out? I mean, that just shows where he's at in the Second Amendment. Also, if there's anybody here from the 76th district, which is most of Clinton, well, it's all of Clinton County, part of Center County, and what Gordon said about the 83rd district here, Mr. Rick Miramito's area, you need to call them and get them on board. Insist that they get behind House Bill 357, and because they're sitting on the fence on this. I called Mike Hanna, my representative, this morning. I was in his office on January 23rd when we had the rally on the state Capitol steps, and Darrell introduced his bill. I was in his office that day. Of course, he wasn't there. Called him this morning, got to talk to the same staffer I saw in Harrisburg, and he got on that supremacy clause kit, and that Mr. Hanna had a problem with the enforcement part of it. So I reminded him that Mr. Hanna took an oath to the Constitution, and what the words of the Pennsylvania State Constitution say about the Second Amendment, and also our federal Constitution. But I really didn't get anywhere. I am setting up a meeting with my representative, but I would just say, I urge all you that have not seen your representative get on board, you need to put the pressure on them. Also, one other thing, the NRA has not come out and endorse House Bill 357. And that was another question the staffer asked me. He says, did the NRA support this bill? I says, I don't have an answer. I just assumed they did. Well, I did call the regional, one of the directors, Maria Heil. She's from, I believe it's York County, down in New Freedom. And she confirmed that the NRA has not formally endorsed House Bill 357. So how many people here are NRA members? Well, guess what? You need to start making phone calls and insist that the NRA gets behind this House Bill 357. I'm sure if they're doing that here, they're probably stonewalling in other states as well. So, and Mr. Hanna, where he's like so many of these legislators that they may be great on the Second Amendment because they come from a rural area that does a lot of hunting, and also everybody owns a gun. But the rest of the Bill of Rights, they tend to have a tendency to step on it. So they need to not be able to get away with staying under the radar. And a lot of these, I know in the case of Mike Hanna, he's been fully endorsed by the NRA election after election. So we plan to keep up the heat on him here in Clinton County. And I just, encourage you all to get after your representatives and get after the NRA as well. Thank you for your time.
Okay, for those of you who did not sign the petition, you want to go ahead and sign that petition. They are in the back, at the back door. Al will pass them out to you, so if you did not sign it, make sure you do sign it. Do pay attention. Keep in mind the bus trip, April 23rd. Don't forget that. Susquehanna Valley Conservatives. Check with Borough of Austin and David French. They can help you with that. Don't forget also April 3rd, right back here with the Williamsport Tea Party. We look forward to seeing you. Go to the back of the room, shoot your hearts out, have a great time, and don't forget there's a little bucket back there. You can put some of that evil money that's filling your pockets and weighing you down back there and help support the Williamsport Tea Party. Thank you again.